Hello, welcome to Medicinal, and today we'll be sharing 3 tips on how we can increase your cortisol level and increase your chances of getting into medical school. Hello, my name is Abdullah Dawood and welcome to Medicinal, the channel where we focus on all medical related topics and medical school related topics. So whatever query you have, throw them at me so I can make a video about it for your enjoyment. Today we will be exploring 3 tips on how we can help you get into medical school, and by we, I literally just mean I. So let's head over to tip number 1. Tip number 1, improve your English. Now this is a bit of an obvious tip because you will be using your English all the way from the beginning of medical school all the way till you retire. So make sure you improve your languages. So not just English, whatever language you speak, or you'll speak in the country you're at. But what if I tell you that you need to start improving your language before you even make it into medical school? And this is what universities will be looking for. What I mean by that is most universities will require an interview for you to get in. They may even require you to write a CV, or in the UK's case, because it's weird, we use UCAS, a personal statement. With these CVs and personal statements, you're gonna have to be a better English writer or a better language writer than Shakespeare himself, because most of the time they're going to be limited in the amount of words you can write. I know it's very annoying. And I went through this challenge myself. It took me forever, but I got there in the end. So how did I do it? Well, you've got to learn the fact that not only do you have to condense a lot of information into one tiny CV or personal statement, because most of the time the words are limited, you're going to have to be creative in the way you do it. So how I did it, for example, is in my experiences, in my work experience and in my hobbies, I took key facts and key points from each of them and merged them together to say that I learned it from here and there, and use them for example, another experience, another hobby, and say how I applied what I've learned into something else. So an example that I used is that when I worked inside the hospital or inside the care home for the elderly, I learned all the communication skills and teamwork skills that I personally later applied to my work in pharmacy, where I had to deal with patients firsthand. So think of something like this that you can apply for yourself. Not only do you have to compress your words, there's also other challenges that will come your way when it comes to writing personal statements or CVs. For example, it has to be short and snappy, and it has to literally hook the reader in. And you're going to have to structure it in a way that is appealing, that they will read every bit of it and enjoy every bit of it, just like a YouTube video will hook you in. So how did I do this? Well, one thing that I did, because I was a student, and most likely most of you guys are as well, is I found an English professor, or even in my school we had a UCAS representative, well, not representative, a teacher that was there to represent UCAS, to sort of help you and guide you with your personal statement and what you had to do, to make sure that you just get the upper hand on top of all the other nerds that want to make it into this stressful career. So that's what I did. So now we're done with tip number 1, we're going into tip number 2. I know, I'm amazed you're still here. So tip number 2 is you have to fish for experiences. Medicine is a proactive career. It's not going to stop just with you finding the experiences here, where you're going to have to go out of your way and be social and interact with people, especially for you, all you introverts. It's sort of setting you up for life. But before even medical school starts, before your medical career starts, you're going to have to go out of your way, ask people if they can give you work experience. This is something that all medical schools love. They want you to have as much work experience as possible, and they will love asking about it in the interview. Now, quantity is one thing, where you have as much experiences as possible, but you also cannot waste the experience. Make sure you document every last bit you did. If you even sneezed, make sure you did this, you wrote that down. Maybe you sneezed in an aseptic way. Say, oh, I sneezed in a cancer ward today, and I made sure that afterwards I washed my hands really well under how you're meant to wash your hands. So I followed the picture guidelines next to the sink, and voila, I am now basically a doctor that can wash their hands. Oski's prepped. Now, documenting the stuff is important, because you're going to have to write this down in your CV or your personal statement, and you're going to be asked about it in your interviews. So you're better off knowing straight away what you did, so that you're not sort of caught out at any moment, and you don't have to go back and think deeply. Especially this is worse in an interview where you choke, and the next thing you know, they'll mark you down, or you'll run out of time and you've lost your placement because you didn't write down or take a picture or draw a doodle of what you did. So make sure, don't be naughty, take the extra step and save yourself. So my third tip is sort of interlinked with the first two, because you will be working with other people. For example, you'll be getting advice on how to improve your English from your teachers, or you will be getting work experience with various healthcare professionals, so you can ask them for advice on anything there. And so really what this third tip is, in my opinion, the most important one: get feedback. Feedback is varied. It's not just going and asking people around, oh, can you see my form? How am I doing? Am I doing nice? Where's my hand gestures okay? No, there's many types of feedback. There's professional, there's family members, there's friends. And so we're going to sort of take a little look around it. One way you can look at feedback is to go into courses. So for example, in England, we have a company called Kaplan. I think it's also international. But what I used it for was my UK CAT, which is, if you're not familiar with the UK CAT, it's basically just an entry requirement exam to get into universities, such as the one I'm going to right now, King's College London. But it's hard to learn the UK CAT by yourself, or you may need some tips and tricks to figure out how to tackle the stuff that you're struggling at. And I think they even do courses for interviews, for personal statements, and for anything really that's medical school related. It's just that they can make money out of it, so we can make more people go into universities and get more underpaid doctors. However, this is one way, one route you can take into getting feedback. The problem with this is it can get really expensive. I mean, even if you can find bundles and packages, which I really recommend you do find, to reduce the prices, it can still get into the hundreds if you're not careful and you just go on a spending spree. So this is where you again have to be proactive and get feedback from other people. Now, going back into work experience, you're going to be running into a lot of doctors, healthcare professionals, nurses, anyone. They most likely have gone through some sort of medical training or a university. Maybe even if they work at a university hospital, it could be the university hospital you're looking to go into. And you know what? They could have even graduated from there. So what you can do is ask them, what did they do? How did they find it, the journey? What helped them go through the journey? And then show them what you're going through. Show them your personal statement. Show them your CV. Show them how you conduct yourself in an interview. Ask them for help and advice. Lots of them will say no. And don't get put down by that. Make sure you keep on looking for the right person that will help you. And when you do find them, use and abuse them to the point where they hate you, honestly. But doesn't matter. 7 billion people in the world, highly likely you're not going to see them again. And guess what? You'll get into medical school. That's what's important. But once you're inside all these work experiences, you're also going to be running into lots of medical students, people who are equally as stressed as you are, if not even more, who have even a better memory of your journey and can help you maybe even better. Because not only are they really going through what you're going through, but they have a more modern understanding of the situation. So they may attend universities, or they should, and they will know about the societies. And my experience with societies is a lot of them actually run for free courses on how you can improve yourself into getting into medical school. Just go around asking every medical student, maybe one is nice and they like talking to you, just don't get too comfy with them, because you never know, stranger danger. Doesn't matter. And you're going to find opportunities from them, like I did. In my university, there's a society called ARC, and they run annual free mock interviews, and I've been to every single one of them before I got into uni. I think they hated me because I used up all the slots, but I didn't care, and I love that society for doing it. Now, my bonus tip is really just important advice, and what it is find out what's needed of you to go into each university. This is important because not only will you not waste time doing stuff that's not important for the universities you want to attend. For example, if you want to go to a specific university, such as, let's say, St. George's, I'm not sure they changed it, but before they never used to look at your personal state. And if it's a university you really wanted to get into, then you could have put, again, not recommended because you would have had many other universities to look at, but you could have put less weight on the personal statement, more weight on the UK CAT. But then again, you also have to look at the fact that not all universities are the same. Some of them have different entry requirements, different exams, and you just have to find out the right thing. But the important thing is that don't limit yourself. Just find out what's needed, but don't limit yourself to one university or one entry requirement, because maybe they don't want you. That sounds mean, but yeah, maybe you don't get into the interview, maybe your interviews don't go well, you never know. Just don't risk it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was informative and it will help you figure out how you can make it into medical school. Please, we need more doctors, especially with this corona. And if you did find it helpful, a thumbs up would be really nice, and a subscribe will be even nicer. But what I'd also like from you to do is write in the comment section what you thought of this video. It will help me understand how I can help you more. And even if you write topic ideas for me to research or make videos about, please do. You are the customer. So let me serve you. I'm signing off.